to these council meetings.
Right.
With that, who wanted the speedway as it was? Who wanted to stay? Because I was told that the community was for it staying, like the residents.
Yes.
I heard that Caltrans, even the police department, because the police department knows that if the kids, adults, or even just people don't have a place to go to where they can race their cars, have fun, and have a nice outlet, they're going to take it to the streets. And now the police are going to have to deal with takeovers, car crashes, and things like that. So the community wanted Irwindale to stay.
Right, correct. Well, I don't want to put any false info. There is a contingent of certain residents that don't want the track there, but I checked through the records. There's a reason why. There was complaints of noise. This goes back to the previous track operator.
Yeah.
Half the complaints could have mitigated if they put a sound walk on Live Oak.
But as far as I knew, most of the time, most of the events that I went to, it usually starts at whatever time in the morning, or early afternoon. But it usually always cuts off between 9:30 to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, because I think there was a 10 o'clock curfew. So there is a contingent that don't want it, but a lot of the community does want it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're always going to have that percentage of people that don't want it. They're negative about cars, period. But I think if we sold them on the advantage of, and this is what we've been trying to apprise the community of, is that, okay, look, I know you don't like the car thing, but look, you live here, your daughter lives here, your grandkids live here. If you let them dig up that damn ground, your whole family's going to get sick.
Well, yeah, not only because of whatever might get kicked up into the air, but it's close to the water.
Right.
Yeah. And then outside of that, I mean, who has an interest in it in terms of wanting to get rid of it? Because it sounds like they don't care about the people or the history. It's more about money.
Well, that's what it's about. And if you can actually go online, and by the way, you can go on the City of Irwindale website. Any of these meetings are accessible. There's even media files and video for all these different dates and meetings. Like I said, everything I've went through has come directly from their information. If you're going to develop this oven and racetrack, you're going to have to dig all 200 feet across 63 acres out. The problem is if you dig all that out, where's that toxic waste going to go that's down there?
And you said Irwindale since between 55 to the 80s, right?
68.
68 until now.
Yeah.
Now, from that, just with being in California, there's been a lot of earthquakes, which means the ground is shaking. So who knows what's already going on underneath that?
Well, the big concern we have right now, like we know the grandstands recently were starting to be taken apart.
And
they should have had a destruction permit, but secretly the city approved the permit. They didn't even allow public comment on it, which is a violation of the Brown Act, by the way.
So do you know like a roundabout figure on how much it got sold for, or is that also
Well, this is the other issue, tax records.
Yeah, tax records.
Well, supposedly the track was purchased for $80,800,000. So the assessment on the taxes, right, is based off the old owner, not the current one.
So I buy something for $20 million, I sell it for $800 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of the $800 million getting taxed, which is how it should be, legally, they're only taxing the $20 million.
Exactly.
Correct. I have
So now, not only is that money, that the difference between the 20 and the 800, where did the rest of that go? Whose pockets did that money go into? And outside
there's
of that,
an ownership issue too, because if the county public assessor seeing IDS owns it, if you go on to public health who does the inspections, it says the old owner owns it.
Yeah.
The paperwork for this land is a mess.
Yes.
It's all government
And literally-
record. It's all right here.
Yes.
what you did was you were able to look at all the documents and add everything up to see that nothing adds up.
No.
Exactly. Nothing adds up with that land. IDS has been buying a lot, like Pac-Man, have been buying up properties in SGV. And majority of these lands are previous landfills.
That's what I was saying, to where there's a lot of things that you guys have been talking about that you brought to my attention. I had no idea of what was currently going on, but I didn't really know how deep the history was with even outside of Irwindale Speedway, but with this property and with the city.
Right. There's been an issue with this property. The landfill closed in around 92. They didn't know what to do with it. So what we saw, let's go back to the meeting you talked about, okay, in December, the environmental impact report. Let's talk about that, right? There's stuff in other records that you guys aren't even putting here. There's an issue with tires in there, that there's automotive waste in here. And these are legal documents, because why? There's land transactions involved, right?
And there's money involved.
So then they did a second one that was incomplete. From dated April 21st, 2022. 6 months before the damn track got sold. And I don't know about all the facts of this. I think they figured out that there's toxic waste under there, and they know they cannot develop it.
Yeah, they knew if they got too. I mean, it was a nice idea, but if they got too deep into it,
Right.
either literally they wouldn't be able to build and do what they wanted, or it would have costed them more to finance the cleanup to get it ready to be able to develop.
Because that toxic waste cannot stay out here. There's only a few places you can take that stuff, and you're looking
getting it over there, and then
you're probably talking about 30,000-40,000 truckloads.
Yeah.
Because it took them from 69 to 99 to fill it up. I mean, 92 to fill it up.
Decades. Yeah.
So how long do you think it's going to take them to get that stuff out of here?
Right.
And I want you guys to go back and look at the city council meeting. What date was that on in January?
January
The 15th. Excuse me, the 18th.
the start of this year.
Yeah. Okay. It was with regards to the land across the freeway. We were trying to get insight. They were going to put these lithium-ion batteries, storage systems that would catch it on fire right next to the main pumping station to Santa Fe Dam. And the residents are like, "You're not listening to us." And the planning commission, it's pushing. This fire marshal looks like he's paid off up there. IDS has got their people up there, and they're not listening to any other. And the residents are literally going off on their own city council. They're like, "You're not listening to us."
I know how a lot of people they want to. Well, let's just say organizations, corporate. They're trying to get us all to EVs, all electric, everything like that. You know, it's better for the environment. But those lithium batteries that are in those vehicles, those toxic chemicals that go up. Smelling it and getting in your clothes, just being around it, is very harmful. Now, what you're saying is they want to build a facility that houses all of that?
Yeah, at Speedway, Speedway, it was going to be 53,000 square feet. See, everybody says, "Oh, this is going to bring jobs," and this is how they qualify for their green credit. Look, most of our facilities, right? We got green yard jostlers, you know, this everything's on batteries, blah blah blah, right? We got solar panels on the roof.
True.
It's a scam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't make sense. Nobody.